Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we are on Canis River with a 1v1 featuring in the club, playing Armada today in red, and their opponent is Lord Vedor in blue going Cortex. Now, for those who haven't seen this map before, we zoom on over. Both players choosing a very defensive start position here. As you can see, they've both chosen the hilly ground in the distance, and this means that they're only going to be accessible from pretty much two directions, which is going to make it easier to defend. You have to be a bit careful about air coming in from along the bottom, and this is, well, obviously useful to stop yourself getting raided, as both players go scouts, go vehicles here that can produce scouts for both players. As we hold shift, you can see actually that they're both still building it, and both have, well, scouts, engineers, and 70 blitzes queued up in the club, whereas Lord Vedor only has construction vehicles. But there are several other start positions here that you could choose, which have just circled for you there. This geo is also something that's quite heavily contested normally. And by starting in this position, Interclub has a very long way, both players, sorry, have a long way to get to the Geo. So it is a bit of a trade-off, players choosing to go in this location. It does mean that their metal ramp-up will be slower. So being able to produce those bigger tanks is going to take a little while longer for them to be able to be built effectively. Now, as we've mentioned before, this section here and down here can also be traversed. So we select that there, you can see they can move through the water. And Lord Vedor going for a very greedy start here, as he does not have a single combat unit as this scout makes its way in. Now, the reason why Vedor decided to do this, because his mindset was that this map is so big, by the time the opponent's scouts got here, he would have units ready, and he was almost right. Needed about 5 or 10 seconds earlier, and he would have had scouts ready to meet Interclub's combat units. But it does mean that Interclub knows where Lord Vedor is, and Vedor does not have that information on his opponent at all. So, as we zoom on out here, I'm going to just quickly speed up a little bit as both players are kind of just moving through this initial phase. You can see Interclub here with a single LLT is going to be able to cover the entire ramp. And now both players will start expanding out to their triple max points. And this is also a bit of a just slower position to start in general, with both players being further back. Now, will Vedor manage to get anything with these scouts? Probably not. Meanwhile, Lord Vedor moving the incisors out of their defensive position. These blitzes happen to go up here. That would be a dangerous thing, but instead, one of them just runs straight into the commander, and the other one manages to get mopped up very nicely. Lord Vedor not really losing anything there at all. And the scouts getting mopped up by a northerly defended LLT. Now, when it comes to metal and energy a second, we can see that in the club has a very good construction vehicle at the bottom here, just building a bunch of energy. Whereas over here, you can see Vedor's not really investing much into his energy, only just starting to do it now. And also going solars. Now, why is he going solars, I hear you saying? Well, having a couple of solars is useful for when the wind dips, but also you can kind of see them as a bank of metal. This is, 300 metal that you've got saved here for a rainy day, that when you need to you've got plenty of your wind built, you can just reclaim this, and it didn't cost you any energy to build. So when you've got a lot of metal and it's just sitting there not doing anything, but you need energy, solar is the way to go. Now, when it comes to incisors versus blitzes, this is a difficult decision to make, as in which one wins out. Incisors have a little bit longer range, as you could see when I was hovering over there, and if used to that effect, can win versus blitzes quite a lot. But if blitzes get close, they are going to tear you to shreds, and this section here, this loss, is not really doing anything for Vedor. He's, just donated only a single wreck, so it's not too bad. But these units are now pretty much not able to be used, need to come all the way back and get healed up. Now you can actually see Vedor there draw a line of where he expects his opponent's commander to go, which is exactly what we said before. He's going to go to here, then here, then here, into the Geo. And he knows that's what his opponent's doing, so we'll see if Vedor moves his forces down there to try and counter the commander. Instead, it does look like he's going to defend his own Geo point. Fortunately for Vedor, these incisors will not get there before this construction vehicle gets killed, I think. Also, we can see with Lord Vedor selected, his economy is in pretty bad shambles at the moment. With energy in the gutter, now slowly going back up. Oh, and this construction vehicle is definitely dead as this huge group of blitzes make their way in and surround that construction vehicle. Now, with both players going vehicles, there are no res bots. Wow, is that construction vehicle actually going to make it out? No. Oh, and potentially losing a second construction vehicle here as well if he's not careful. No, managing to survive. Live to fight another day. And now mine layers coming out from in the club here. This is pretty useful against low tier units. I would say that Vedor, although not expanding in his own area as well, has done a very good job at moving towards a central choke point, as you can see here with his commander. Although he does run into a slight problem of obviously still being able to pass here. And as you see, in the club also now transitioning out to Janus and Stouts. And incisors will not do very good against that whatsoever. Some good harass over here as that guy manages to get through, but as Lord Vedor runs into the mines, he loses most of his incisors. And against a Janus, incisors are not the best of option, really. And we can see that now changing as Lord Vedor switches out the brutes as well. He does have air as well, which is a surprising choice. Meanwhile, in the club, in his base here, has transitioned over to Tech 2 vehicle. If he can get enough Tech 2 out at this early stage, that's going to be big if he can make the most of it. Now, shurikens coming out from from Lord Vedor, sorry, and that will cause problems as there is no AA currently. Surprisingly, these incisors doing very well versus the Stouts. When it comes to value for money, definitely getting it right there. The Januses are quite expensive. See, 2,600 metal, 2,600 energy, 240 metal. That is a very different number there. And in the club, just happy to sit on that bottom, building some beamers here to try and defend. But see, this section here is completely not been capped at all by Inder Club. It's taken quite a while to get that, whereas Lord Vedor's got quite a lot of his stuff already. Here comes a bombing run though. What's their plan? Are they going for the Geo first, probably? And now the desperate rush to try and get some AA. All the scouts have been killed, so where are these bombers going to hit? They're going for the Geo. Not enough to kill it in the single pass. 80 health left. That will do the job. The question is now, where are the bombers going to go? I'm going to say surely going for a bomb. These windmills are placed close enough, I think, that if they blow up, they will chain. And that is a huge amount of energy to lose. Very nice bombing run. Gets a big chunk of energy there. Energy converters and build power trying to be hit as well, but no build power gets taken out. And with one bomber left, and these Jaguars rushed out here, that'll be enough AA to deal with the last bomber. Now, Lord Vedor is aware that his opponent is Tech 2, and when we look at what he can see, you know, we can see he can see the Tech 2, he can see a bit of energy. You can see he's already actually started getting metal up Tech 2. And so he needs to kind of make his decision how he's going to deal with this. You can actually see he also started reclaiming the aircraft lab here. That's generally due to the fact that once you've done your bombing run, you're going to make your opponent invest into lots of anti-air. And if you can do that, then your opponent is wasting metal. Because once the anti-air is up, it's not really going to be able to, you know, contribute much, your air. Now, when it comes to army value, the entire time that Interclub has been building up his economy and moving to Tech 2, Lord Vedor has been pumping out units. We can see that now by just look at the difference in units here. The club running for the hills as he gets chased down by an overwhelming force of brutes. And Lord Vedor lost 0 units there, and Interclub losing 2. It's not the kind of trade you want. And Lord Vedor now starting to eco up as well, getting some Tech 2 out himself, being very, very greedy here. Building a 4th Tech 2 construction vehicle before moving on to actual army units. That is very, very greedy. And now as these tanks roll straight down the middle, Interclub able to inflict some metal economy damage by just grabbing a bunch of these metal extractors that are completely undefended. And the shurikens that were there get taken out pretty quickly as well due to the anti-air. There was enough of them to deal with it though, but that's not going to stop this stuff going towards the Geo and losing a Tech 2 construction vehicle. That is a huge loss. And also going to lose a Tech 1 construction vehicle as well. Lord Vedor losing a lot of build power in such a short amount of time. He will manage to kill those raiding units, but it's not looking good for Vedor. He lost a lot of economy in that raid. You can tell that now from the metal a second was like completely in the club's favor. You can see how much of his metal he's already gotten to Tech 2. His opponent is nowhere near that. And also Vedor just really struggling to get units out right now. These Jaguars are just running amok all around Vedor's territory. And they're able to deal with the LLTs that are positioned so far to defend. So yeah, two of them and only one half health. Better trying to change the tone of the fight here and take some initiative. With just those few incisors, he did manage to get a construction vehicle, which will delay his opponent somewhat, but there's a very large amount of Jaguars still around, and mines causing problems as well for Vedor. Clearly built a Juno just to take out the mines. Now, will this be enough LLTs to kill these Jaguars? We won't know, because Vedor is out of that energy right now. You see how many windmills are being built right now. He's even built construction turrets in the area to try and speed up the process. And that attack force gets dealt with pretty easily. And Vedor having to fall back now. He has applied a bit of pressure, but again, nothing really to worry about. Vedor really needs to get back to capping all of his metal extractors that he lost. It's a shame that he actually reclaimed this air lab now, because he could have swung around and go do really quickly and pulled them back. He could build armed metal extractors though as well, which is something only Cortex has access to, which would deal with these Jaguars pretty well if the Jaguars got close. And in the club now with no energy to really fire these beamers, and Vedor's making the most of that opportunity to try and get a bit of damage on here. In the club, building up this advanced Geo here. Now these Tigers are going to get stuck. Energy has picked back up now, so the beamers are going to be fully effective. He's just trying to deny that Geo. But the D-gun manages to catch them all off. It does get the converters, but the Geo's still alive. And that was 3 Tigers destroyed there for one metal extractor and a bit of energy converters and some build power. Not what Vedor needs right now. Vedor desperately needing some combat units. No armed metal extractors being built yet either, which you would think would be the case to kind of provide a bit of, of a buffer against these raiding units. Vedor able to see these forces moving up, which is allowed him to retreat in time. If we look at it in the club's perspective, you can also see the units falling back. And here comes the Juno. Where is it gonna drop? 2 actually going out there. Not really accomplishing anything. Now this, if this pays off, this is going to be big. Interclub transitioning over to Tech 3 with the attempt to build very early Marauders. Only 970 metal to build these Marauders. 21,000 energy is a lot of energy though. But at the rate he's able to build these, taking less than 10 seconds to build, it's not looking good. Tigers are holding out for now, but once that Tech 3 arrives, Vedor is going to be in trouble. The Tech 1 is moving along the top, trying to make a bit of a dent here. Open a different avenue of attack. The beamers will get destroyed, but this entire tank force is also going to get destroyed here. I did see a very quick attempt there to self-destruct, which would have denied the reclaim to his opponent. But instead deciding he wants to take out those beamers instead. And a scout wave comes across, currently at 3, 4, 5 Marauders. There is a decent chunk of tigers, 14 tigers. Marauders are not very strong. They're pretty weak. And it looks like he's aiming to use them on Vedor's commander, sending them south while sending tank forces to the north. And this is where if some of these were the armed metal extractors instead, which are obviously a lot more expensive, this may have saved these units up here. Now also with those tech 3 being amphibious, they were probably going to be able to path right across the middle. That's exactly what we see on the mini-map there, as they just make their way straight across. Not only that, but they do have some of their own AA built onto them. And here goes all of the economy that was just rebuilt by Vedor. And you can see Inda Club just completely stretching out these Marauders far and wide to just cause as much destruction as possible. See, he's also doing a great job at trying to micro them here. Just a little bit back and forward to try and dodge some of those shots. And so far, 2 tigers down. Not a single Marauder down. 3 tigers down. 4 tigers down, actually. Meanwhile, these 2 bulls just going around the top, just causing more and more mayhem. And I don't see a way for Vedor really to come back from this. He has got a Banisher. Banisher's high alpha damage will do a lot. And it looks like Resbot's probably planned here as well from Mr. Vedor. Nothing yet, just pure Banishers as well, planned out from the plot lab, the vehicle lab. So many Marauders. And they're now basically heading on a path for Vedor's commander. Vedor might not notice it yet. Not even a single Marauder. There we go, finally. A single Marauder is killed so far. And just more and more destruction. These Marauders are just doing absolute work. A single pop-up defense will not really be enough to stop this. Does manage to take out another Marauder though. But when he's churning one out every couple of seconds, not really that big a deal. See, the Banishers here, good choice. Basically, with about 4 of them, you'd probably be able to insta-pop a single Marauder. The issue is Marauders are so quick. And he needs so much time between reloads that he doesn't have the Tigers there in position to deal with it. He just needs those Tigers to tank damage. If he can get the reclaim from this afterwards, there may be a way that Vedor could come back from this, but he's probably going to need his own tech 3. And I just don't see that happening with the rate that Inda Club is able to pump out this tech 3. Able to even outrun the Tigers. That's just how strong Marauders are. And Resbot's just drastically trying to run here to get as much back as he can. You can see they're spread out across the place. Banisher misses its shot. Vedor could res enough to make a difference here, but a massive fighter screen coming across to spot maybe the commander. Banishers do also shoot air, so this is maybe another way of trying to get rid of some of the Banisher shots. Vedor with a huge amount of metal right now, just not the build power to use it. You can see Vedor desperately trying to get tech 3 up himself. Shivas will absolutely decimate these Marauders. It's whether he's going to be able to get enough of them out to deal with the quantity right now, and I don't think that's going to happen as these Marauders get very close to the base before the factory's even finished. And they're in and over, and the energy production getting completely destroyed. There is not going to be a comeback from just that much sheer damage. You can see that once this Shiva was up, it has done a great job at dealing with the Marauders. But unfortunately for Vedor, it's just not enough as Vedor's commander walks into Marauders, manages to degun a couple. Vedor trying to still stay alive here though. Vedor surprisingly with a lot of energy left. Trying to spot him. And with the very last Marauder degunned, a couple of seconds of breathing room, but Interclub with a victory there with the tick finale.
Ended.
And it was well played from Interclub. He kind of looked like he was losing it mid-game, but then managed to pull it back towards the end. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.